I am a farmer, and I'm also a massage therapist. And typically, when I tell people those two professions, the response I get is, "Oh, how odd." And the next question is always, "Why are you a farmer?" Most people don't ask me, "Why are you a therapist?" That seems to make sense to people. But why are you a farmer? And I have to say that I don't see the two professions being very different at all. Both of them are about healing. I've stood in a farm field, and I have had people come with their children and say to me, really beg me, help me give my children something solid. How do I teach my children how to love? I've had people come to my clinic, and I've had them say, I feel so disconnected. I don't know what's wrong, but I need help. Can you help me? And both of these requests stem from the same emotion, the same feeling of separation. And most people don't know where it comes from. They don't understand the seeds that have sown that feeling of being apart, being in a group of people and feeling alone, being in a loving family and still not knowing what's missing in your connection. And I'd like to explain a little bit of what I believe has caused it. As our society has grown and progressed with industrialism, growth, the pinnacles of human civilization that we have reached, as we've gone to the moon, to the stars, as we are contemplating going to Mars on rockets that will actually take us there and set up thriving communities, we hope. As we have reached these heights that take us further and further away from the earth, we are missing our roots without even understanding that we have cut ourselves away from them. One of the things I learned in massage therapy school was the importance of a concept called grounding. Before anyone comes to see me in my clinic for a massage, I check myself. Where are my emotions? How do I feel? Am I feeling stressed? Because once someone is on my table and I put my hands on them, everything I'm feeling, everything that I'm experiencing in my life can't help but come through to the person I'm trying to help. It's the same thing with farming. We have disconnected ourselves from the earth through most of our civilization and the way we live. We hate dirt, right? You can watch TV for 5 minutes and see 5 ads on how to get dirt out of your house, out of your clothes, off of your shoes. Granted, things that come in from the garden and the farm are not always dirt, so you want to clean it off, but it's not a bad thing to have that connection. We have lost our grounding with the earth. And with that grounding comes a connection that we are missing with one another. I'd like you to look beneath your feet for just a moment. We're all touching something that everyone else here is touching. We're touching something that everyone else on the face of the planet is touching. Even if they're in a plane or on a boat out at sea, they are standing on something that came from the earth. They are connected to something that first began as an element, as a seed that held magic inside, and grew into something beautiful and usable and useful. I believe that some of what we pursue in our life in commercialism, in purchasing, in stuff that fills our homes, and we buy storage facilities to put some of it in because it's so important to us, is actually just a desire for a connection with the earth. We buy things that came from the earth because we think it's going to fill a need that we don't even understand. The need is not the thing that we purchased. It's not the new car. It's not the bigger home. It's not the clothes. It's the connection, where they came from. You see, I believe that we are all creatures of the earth. We are the earth. Every civilization that has ever lived, every group of people and culture that has walked on the earth has had a story to tell about the beginning of humanity. In Greek mythology, Prometheus formed man from the mud of a river, and Athena breathed life and intelligence into the man. The Mi'kmaq tribe, an Algonquin tribe that live in Nova Scotia, Canada, they tell the story of the creator, Gisuog, who formed mankind from sand and lightning. In the Judeo-Christian belief, God placed Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and said, "From dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return." I believe that we are of the earth and we are the earth. The very elements of our body, the same elements that formed this earth, that were born in the heart of an exploding star billions of years ago. And those elements connect us to one another. As a therapist, I have people who will come in occasionally, widows and widowers, who will say, "I just need some touch." And I have a very tender place in my heart for those who need because of loss. I remember when my father passed away, my mother struggled so hard with the physical loss of her spouse. And she would call me almost every day. Some days she was smiling and I could hear it in her voice. Other days she was crying. And I said, "Is it a hard day, Mom?" And she said, "Yes, I miss him because he's not here and I can't touch him." And she told me once, she said, "Vernie, please remember the widows. Remember how much it means to be touched, to connect with another living soul." We walk through our lives in communities that are so crowded, in houses that are stacked one on top of each other, and yet we are disconnected and we feel separate. We are craving our roots. We are craving roots that go deep into the earth to bring us nutrition, roots that are strong enough to break down sidewalks and walls that separate us, because the walls we build to separate us are just a representation of the walls we have inside to protect us. And you don't need protection when you love freely. You don't need a wall to protect you when you have a heart that's open to understand and that's ready to connect. I would like to invite you to connect with the earth. As a massage therapist and as a farmer, I have people who come and seek healing on the farm. They come and seek healing under my hands. They want me to make them feel better. And I have a confession to make. I can't heal them. I can't heal you. I can ease something that hurts. And I can hurt with you. And I can feel with you. And I can connect with you. But I can't heal you. But there's something that can. I'm inviting you to be a farmer. I'm inviting you to connect with the land in whatever way you can, no matter where you are. I taught a seminar to some women several years ago, and I gave them an assignment that I'm going to give to you to connect with the earth, to step outside, to take off your shoes, to walk with bare feet on the earth. No concrete in the way, no steel in the way, just you and the earth in communion. I said, go do that, and come back tomorrow and tell me what you experienced. And one woman shared a beautiful experience with me that I want to share with you. She was far from home. She was staying in a hotel here in Salt Lake. And the only bit of earth that she could find was a strip of grass in front of her hotel by a busy street. She said, I think I looked like a lunatic. I was out there, it was late in the evening, I had my shoes off, and I was walking back and forth in the grass, wondering, why am I doing this? I look silly. I look ridiculous. And she said, about halfway through that 20 minutes, she said, I remembered what it felt like to be 5 and run through the grass in my grandfather's house. And I remembered what it felt like to play in the dirt as a child and build something that felt momentous to me. I think children connect earlier. It might be a height thing, I'm not sure, but they're a little closer to the earth. She said, by the end of the 20 minutes, I knew I looked ridiculous because I was standing in a patch of lawn on the side of a busy street, and I was weeping because I hadn't realized that I was not connected to the earth. I didn't even know that the connection was gone. And I believe that that is common with all of us. I believe farming has become so uncommon as the cities build up around farms. We kind of push them out of the way because, we could build a soccer park and there's some grass, and maybe we could build an apartment building and put more people in there. But the bigger the cities become, the more important the farms remain, because people need a connection to the living earth. The common ground that we look for between us is right beneath our feet. And I encourage you to take off your shoes and stand on holy ground. Thank you.